I'm gonna put this out there. I know Kelvin fucking hates me now, put me on ignore and everything. I was fucking right. I know you're probably never gonna hear this either, but I was right. That dude is somebody. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of the Apothecary Diaries. We have a comment today, but I'm going to get to that last, only so that I can get through the notes that I've written down, just in case that any of my notes happen to cross anything that the commenter has said. Same way we handle things and say any of our Gundam reactions. I just want to make sure that I get my thoughts out first, and then if there's any crossover, I can just say, oh yeah, I said that thing before earlier in the notes. I would bring up the board, but there is literally no change to the board. I'm actually thinking I should have made some changes to the board. Some things did happen. Actually, I guess nothing relationship-wise has changed. Everyone's still following on the same path of relations. And seemingly, I have many thoughts about conspiracy at play, but none of them are valid or at least proven to the point where I would want to put it up on the board. So, yeah, I guess nothing valuable had or would have been added to the board for me to put it up there. Obviously, there'll still be a link down below in the description to look at the board as it's been. I don't know. Obviously, I anticipate there will be board changes after this episode, but nothing right now. That said, gonna move on into the notes. On the night that the warehouse suffered its flower fire, a second warehouse was broken into and the relic was stolen, and replaced with a piece forged by the younger son of the old smith from the lead episode. I guess implying that despite his father putting all his faith in him, he wasn't actually all that good. Sorry, I'm splitting off from my note here for a second. Unless they were specifically requested that he make this object with that weakened metal thing that gets weakened by heat. Although oddly, this thing broke without any heat element at play that I didn't see. Like, maybe we'll cover something this episode where, like, oh yeah, no, they did something with mirrors and reflected heat on this from across the way. But in the episode itself, we did not see that. It just looks like it falls apart. Which is why I said, implying that he's not actually all that good. Now, if they actually requested that to be made, and that was a thing, and it's going to be an element in the future, fair enough. Just wanted to explain my thought process there as I was having it. The thing that still sticks out to me is that we saw Lock-On investigating the burnt-down warehouse the night of the incident. There doesn't seem to be any purpose for him to have been doing that, especially if he was the one responsible for this, making me think it's a red herring to Lock-On's own plans, in actuality, the work of someone else. I'm still thinking that the pure consort was glaring at Jinshi before. It's neither motive or evidence, but it's all I got at the moment. Kunin turns out to be the former overseer of the warehouses. They say he died a year ago, dating how long it's been since that episode. Apparently Kunin was very by the books. The current overseer was the guy poisoned by seaweed, which then took him out of commission and allowed for the ceremonial tools to get stolen. Who the younger brother of that warehouse back in Raw Fish? Sorry, I said warehouse. The younger brother of that house back in Raw Fish heard that trick from would be a possible connection. There was specifically that guy that I mentioned at the end of that episode, who I also specifically mentioned looked like the guy who dropped the salt into Conan's drink and ended up killing him. If he's the same guy, that would be the connection then to look out for. The only thing is that he doesn't look like anyone I recognize yet. I know I checked to see if he looked like Lock-On's assistant last time, but he doesn't. I almost forgot that it was clearly Sure who gave the ornate pipe to the warehouse guard. Her outfit is unmistakable even under robes. her role and connection to people is still relatively unclear. That's the difficulty in this part of the conspiracy. It's easy to just say Lock-On did it, Suri is working for him, and whoever that guy we saw looking for him at the warehouse before is the guy talking to the younger brother of that one official and dropping salt into Conan's drink. But each action is separate from one another without any direct connective tissue to tie them together. I know I've called out people for less than this before, but something about this just doesn't feel right. And yeah, I know I across a bunch of these notes, not these from this specifically, but across multiple shows, I always go with I don't know, it just doesn't feel right for calling out why things might not be as they seem. Is it just happenstance that the guy aiding Maomao with her research goes out of his way to show her a scroll that contains the layout of the ceremonial building that is the exact target for the conspiracy? Like, she doesn't mention anything about it. Is in fact going down a separate line of inquiry when he brings it out and shows her on his own. Maybe I'm just suspecting everyone again, but if I were looking to someone that feels like Lock-On, it would be this. That Lock-On was at the warehouse because he's actually better at investigating than Maomao. Like, Lumen showed off that he was earlier in the season. Lock-On figured it all out earlier, then tests Maomao, and even drops her an assist when she falters. And that's why he shows up at the altar of the Sapphire Sky, possibly already meaning to step in should Maomao fail. I guess maybe Maomao gets that withering glare from her father. When Lock-On says, "You've hurt her," the glare he gives feels very reminiscent to how Maomao looked at Jinshi, specifically not to see Lock-On. Very ironic. I mean, Lock-On may be a piece of shit, but she is his daughter. I gotta think this guard isn't going to be seen ever again. And actually, my final note here. That look on Lock-On's face, it doesn't read like "I've failed." I don't know why I air quoted that. 'Cause how could it? He made sure Maomao could get in. Is it anger? Shock? Not knowing the conspiracy itself, I'm grasping at straws to understand his involvement past my previous prediction that he is actually uninvolved and figured it out beforehand. Maybe that's the thing. He saw Jinshi as a problem towards him getting Maomao and was simply not going to stop what was happening, but assisted Maomao because she is his daughter and she was in danger. So maybe the look was revelation that he had hurt his own cause, or the realization that there was more between Jinshi and Maomao than he previously suspected, by the way he's carrying her out, I mean. I feel like we're back at the point of trying to figure out who is up to what, and I obviously do not think that Lock-On was responsible for this because it doesn't feel right, as I previously stated. There's too much at play, and how many episodes are left in this season? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 episodes after this one. It very much feels like we're setting up for a second season. Like, I know there's a second season. That's the trailer that we watched that got us to watch this season, because I always wanted to watch the show anyway. Thank God you guys voted for it. Thank you. Um, but the element is that I think too much stuff is building up. Like, I feel we would be robbed if everything wrapped up at the end of the season. Like, oh, we figured everything out. We should leave this season with more mysteries than can be solved, so that when we start season 2, we can hit the ground running. Not that we really ever hit the ground running in these shows. I feel like we're at a swift jog. We're constantly at a swift jog, and sometimes we slow down to look at stuff, and then speed back up again, and that stuff that we looked at gets thrown back in our faces as part of the thing that we're running from. Anyway, as I said, we do have a comment, and it's a pretty long one, so strap in. Marduk Hiranami from the Patreon, from the episode Chance or Something More, Music is for Jinshi's relationship with Maomao. It's not connected to the bowing. Bowing is because Jinshi's a royalty. Jinshi performing ceremony, that's royalty. Jinshi as eunuch, air quotes, that's incognito Jinshi. Nobody bows to him like that. Royalty can't run. I mean, could if royalty's life was in danger, but anyway. In ancient China, here we are in the fantasy equivalent of ancient China. One was not allowed to look directly at the face of the emperor or emperor's direct family. And Jinshi, not Jinshi the incognito, but the real Jinshi, is of royal family. Hence people can't look at him in the face. Note that Lockdown is shocked enough at the moment and also of high enough standing at the moment that he is looking. Well, mostly looking at Mao, as the royalty passes him by. It is because of Lockdown's high standing, or because of Lockdown's shock because of things happening to Maomao, Lockdown's daughter? So I'm trying to question mark these, trying to put the inflection on the question mark as per a previous offline conversation that we had. Anyways, no spoilers. Just think on it, or something. I think I haven't spoiled anything. That's why I won't even comment on your theories. Lockdown is probably of high enough standing that he probably won't be punished for looking at the royalty in the face at that. But actually looking at Maomao, but it's not like that's obvious to people. But why does Lockdown risk it? Or is it just pure shock? The consorts might know that Jinshi is Jinshi, and Lockdown might know, but anyone else might not know. After all, they are not allowed to see the royalty's face unless permitted with a word or gesture. Remember how Maomao was not looking at the Emperor's face at first in their scene together? So, how will they know, you see? No spoilers here, mostly explanation of how people not high enough to keep secrets would not know that Jinshi, the royalty, is Jinshi, the supposed eunuch. Jinshi the incognito, let's just call him. So, yep, what we know is what few people know. Consorts, Lock-on, etc. Lock-on lets Maomao go inside. Did Lock-on plan things or did Lock-on discover things? Maomao knows that there was an assassination attempt. With the logic of things, if we did not know Maomao, we could suppose. If we did not know Mao, that Maomao planned to have royalty almost assassinated and then saved by her. See, I think I said, sorry, cutting in here. I think I said that it would look bad for Maomao, but I was also including the fact that I thought she would also have the ornate pipe too. So I thought, it would seem like she knew everything that was going on to not lock on. Oh god, I'm forgetting people's names. The other L name guy who's been sent to Vertiger's house multiple times. So I'm just trying to find him. Where are you? I'm so sorry. Lee Haku. Sorry, Lee Haku was what I was talking about. She was explaining everything to Lee Haku, and it seemed like, oh, she knows everything. And then if she was found with, like, evidence of the crime, say, the ornate pipe. Anyway, that was what the point was I was going with there. So, in making theories, always remember that, unlike with Mao, we do not know Lock-on's thoughts, or Consort's thoughts, etc. Look, if you looked from outside, you could even suspect Maomao of the assassination. Would it make sense? So that way you can ask yourself, would it make sense with Lock-on? Would it make sense with Gyo? Would it make sense with the pure consort? Anybody else? Etc. No spoilers. You say no spoilers. No spoilers, just food for thought, okay? TLDR, I'm not telling you who was phone. Sorry, old internet meme, one of my faves. Just telling you to consider, did the person have reasons to be phone? Or to discover who was phone and say something about it, or not say anything about it? XD question mark? Anyway, no spoilers, I promise. As for Jinshi not looking, shocked, he is looking. But as a member of the royalty, he is socially not allowed to make a scene. In the manga, which is another adaptation of the light novel, Skipping. Not gonna know anything about what happens in the light novel. Bu- 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 bu. Sorry, a lot of this is more light novel stuff. Like I said, I'm not reading it. I'm skimming. I'm doing that thing where I'm looking at specific words, trying not to take context, and every so often I'm still seeing the word light novel. I like the anime scene, also the manga scene. Sorry, also a lot of choose your own interpretation. Obviously, this is going to be visually up on the episode when I put it on Patreon and YouTube, so you guys can see what I'm not reading. And obviously, I'm no good at reading and talking at the same time, so as long as you hear my words, you know I'm not reading something. So yeah, to the final sentence here. And yeah, might not look it, but I swear there are no spoilers in my comment. I was very careful with this. You say. You say. But again, I'm not going to read anything about what happens in the light novel or the manga, only specifically because that is an alternative thing that could influence what's happening. So my spoiler aversion tactic is always to not read that stuff. So yeah, that is a comment, or sorry, that section of the comment, very specifically for the viewers. They can tell me, or actually, they won't tell me because if you tell me what your interpretation is about the difference between the light novel, the anime, and the manga in the comments, I will equally not read those. So, sorry. Apologies, Marta Kurianami, but those are just things I don't read. I do not risk. At the moment I let one spoiler through, all my theories from that moment forward would be suspect based on are you being spoiled, are you cheating, etc. I don't want to risk it. I have been so good about nailing stuff ahead of the reveals that I don't want to like ruin the entire uh conceit. So that's that. I believe that's everything, though, to go over. The notes were, again, a bit short because there wasn't anything really to go over from a lot of the scenes, because the setup was before Maomao goes to do her research, let's go over all the evidence so far. And the evidence is something I've gone over a lot, in previous notes. So there's no real reason to go back over that in my current notes. So yeah, I guess let's see what the fallout is from all of this. Well, I think it wouldn't be fallout, really, because she saved him. It'd be a shit episode if there's a fallout. Anyway, let's hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I don't know why, but, also not for nothing, there's that image right there at the beginning. I don't know why, but I, for some reason inside, suspected that we might be getting a new opening. But, as I just mentioned, we're like 4 episodes from the end. It would be insane to hit us with a new opening now. It just felt like that was a huge turning point in like character relationships and Maomao's dedication to the job. And hell, I guess technically Maomao didn't know that was Jinshi, right? So Maomao's dedication to saving royalty, she literally she literally let her crap getting beat out of her to save an unknown member of royalty, which I guess is a whole different perspective that I guess I could have covered in my notes, but I didn't even think about. I guess mostly just focusing on the relationship cues. Oh yeah, and the fact that Maomao might be trying to get out of her life as a concubine to be with Lakan, not something we've even covered since the first time it was kind of mentioned. I'm assuming that's going to be a season 2 thing or something we're going to wrap up this season with. I just don't know how this season's going to end. So they must have brought her to a different doctor. Oh, sandalwood sandalwood was it mixed with Suri's pipe smoke scent. That could just be common. Or speaking to the level of person that Suri is with or around.
医局で寝かせるのもなんだってjinshi様が連れてきたのよ。はい、どうぞ。ありがとうございます。起きたところで悪いけど着替えられる？皆さんを連れてくるわ。
I mean, the element here that other girls have been kicked out of here. Other girls are going to be kicked out of here, and she's the one who risked her life.
無作法ですみません。気にするな。それでどういう経緯であの場所にやってきたのか。
Yeah, there's no point in hiding it. You just wear the crest now in front of everyone.
説明してもらおうか。
Or at least her.
わかりました。あれは偶然が重なり合った事故です。しかしまるで意図的に偶然が引き寄せられたようでした。そういう意味では事故ではなく事件と言えるでしょう。一つ目の偶然は去年霊部の高官である光年様が亡くなったことです。
And personal connection to Jinshi.
二つ目に倉庫でボヤが起き、同時に別の場所で細具が盗まれたこと。そして三つ目は
Also, yeah, damn it, now I'm going back on my whole Lockon's not responsible. Lockon was in that room in a Gao Shun flashback that Kunin was taking inventory in.
さらにもう一つ重要なことがあります。なんだ？盗まれた細具です。祭事では祭壇の柱を金属線で吊り上げ、床の金具に固定していました。もし事故に見せかけるのであれば、要である金具を狙うでしょう。そんなものが盗まれたら作り直さないわけがないだろう。当然。
Yeah, I recovered that from the lead episode.
祭事にふさわしい凝った装飾をすると考えられます。その職人に心当たりがありました。亡くなった彫金職人か。はい。盗まれた金具は彫金細工師。
Yeah, I've been on top of this. I didn't know why lead was important. There we go. I told you heat. I knew they would explain the heat this episode. You remember, man, you were there.
亡くなった彫金細工師の秘伝の技術を使えば、火のそばにあるだけで溶けてしまうのです。彫金細工師もこの計画を立てた一味ということか。
No. Yeah, they're all individual parts, unconnected to one another, who don't know what they're doing.
これと同じものをあの特殊な金属で作ってくれとでも頼まれて。
That's that guy. That's that fucking guy I keep talking about.
その前に消してしまえば、依頼人の名も低温で溶ける金属の技術も闇に葬られ、とても都合が良かったでしょう。まさか殺されたのか。それはわかりません。
It doesn't seem like it.
そう見せかけた事件の。
Yeah, but anything being an accident.
少なくとも死んだ職人に金具の製作を頼んだ人間は、その技術が何であるか知っていた。私が言えるのはここまでです。
And Lockon is the one that had Jinshi send her there to figure that out. So I'm saying the element that Jinshi is both on the side of helping Maomao figure everything out and possibly being behind it. Jinshi has a sandalwood smell. She had pipewood and sandalwood smell. I guess explaining the owner of the pipe, but not the sandalwood.
はい。お客様よ。
例の事件、水霊という幹女が関係していたんだが、
やはり水霊か。
死体で見つかったよ。
Oh, what the fuck?
警部が部屋に乗り込んだ時には毒を煽って倒れていたらしい。
That was
遺
fucking
体による
unexpected.
検視も済んで死亡も確認された。
どうなるのですか？
明日には棺に入れたまま家計に処されるんじゃないか。
他の関係者は？
Oh, wait.
他にはいない。水霊一人
My
だけ
whole
だ。
resurrection. She said the whole resurrection medicine. She's faking death. She's not dead.
とにかく一件
As per
落
also
着
the
だ。
opening of the show.
それじゃ。
毒を煽って死んだ。
She's doing one of those I slowed my heart down
これで
things.
終わりなのか。いや、それ以前に水霊は自殺するような女だろうか。無気力な顔、投げやりな
No.
態度は。
So like I said, she felt way too important to just be killed all of a sudden like this.
でもあの時の試すような口ぶり。
Also explains the light outfit rising from the coffin in the opening.
蘇りの薬。
Boom.
憶測じゃダメだ。断言できない。ジン様、お願いしたいことがあります。
Oh, she does sound desperate.
水霊を検視した医官とお話がしたいのです。死体置き場。
Okay, excited.
お前は何を笑って。
好奇心に負けた。
I guess if they didn't do a medical examination, it's quite possible that she didn't, like, autopsied or anything.
薬屋が入るなら俺も
I don't think you did autopsies back then. I don't know.
わかりました。シャオマン、こちらへ。
ありがとうございます。
お待たせして申し訳ありません。
やはりこの医官が検視を。親しげに話していた患女が死んで、なおかつ罪人扱
Not
い
as
された。
close to her, just knows who she is.
でもそれだけだろうか。
I mean, he's the one from the preview.
患女が飲んだ毒にマンダラケが使われていませんでしたか？
それは。
馬屋の上の小高い丘、あそこにマンダラケを植えたのではありませんか？毒性は強いですが、適量なら麻酔薬として作用します。医局にそれがないとは思えません。マンダラケは白い朝顔の花
Imagine
に
faking your death and then being woken up and like, we caught you.
症状から見てその可能性は高いが、特定はできない。
では実際に確かめてみましょう。
I thought he was going to jump in front and prevent her from doing it, explaining the him in front of the swinging scene.
やめろ。
開きました。
水霊じゃない。そんな。確かに水霊だったんだ。
Are we going to get a flash to her climbing out of the coffin at some other point?
水霊を見間違えるわけがない。脈も心の像も動いていなかった。綺麗なもんだったよ。
つまりいいように利用されたんですね。毒の正体を解明するために死体を切り刻もうと。
That's what I'm talking about. That's where the plan would have fallen apart completely.
水霊もそれを見越していた。
She used you.
水霊が使ったのはマンダラケだけで
Ah,
はありません。
Suri honeypotted this
医
guy
局の薬の在庫数
to
を
make
調
sure
べ
that
れば
he wouldn't cut her
何
open
が
after
使
she
ったかわかると思い
died.
ます。この医官を責めるとすれば、薬の管理が不十分だったことだろうか。
どういうことだ？遺体が違うというのは。
棺桶を燃やすにしても中身が空だと怪しまれます。新しい棺の中に代わりの死体を入れて持ち込み、すり替えたので
Well,
す。
who is this body then?
水霊の遺体はどうなる？持ち出すにしても目立つだろ
持ち出す必要はありません。
う。どういうことだ？
Boom, there we go. What I say.
自分で歩いて帰ったのですから。
死んでいたのではないのか。
人を死んだように見せる薬があります。ご存知ですか？
聞いたことはあるが、そんなのは幻想だ。
どんなものだ。
She literally told you she was going to get it. By you, I mean Maomao, not this guy.
しばらくの後、蘇らせるそうです。詳しくはわかりませんが、材料にマンダラケとフグを使うと聞きました。
And pufferfish was missing from that garbage
シャオマオ。
ガオシュン
from
様、
that episode, Raw
川
Fish.
の棺桶を調べていただけますか？
はい。釘の跡です。
おそらく死んだ水霊が入っていたのでしょう。そして助けに来た者が棺桶を開ける頃に息を吹き返した。別の死体が入った棺桶を代わりに置き、
Interesting that it's a whole group of rescuers and not a rescuer. That fucking guy.
そんな確証のない方法を取ったというのか。
どのみち見つかれば死罪になるのでしょう。私なら喜んでかけますよ。
いや、お前の場合違うだろ。
ここに遺体がないということは、水霊は賭けに勝ったということです。代わりの死体が燃やされた後なら完全勝利だったはずですがそんな真似はさせない生きていたら会いたいですね。捕まえるためじゃない、数々の事件を事故に見せ
I'm
か
gonna
け
put
た
this
知
out there.
識、それをやってのける度胸。
I know Kelvin fucking hates me now. Put me on ignore and everything. I was fucking right. I know you're probably never gonna hear this either. But I was right. That dude is somebody.
人物がさっさとくたばっては面白くないだろうよみがえりの妙薬、絶対に作り方を教えてもらう
Okay, crazy start of the Maomao villain arc. Or anti-hero arc?
なんだ。
足を縫ってもらえませんか？傷口が開いたようなので。
それを早く言え。
ローラン様。
What did I say? I suspected her. I mean, no, this doesn't prove anything. I still very much suspect her. I don't know what the tie is yet, though.
結局、水霊のことは秘密裏に終わらせた。水霊という感情についても曖昧な点が多い。遺憾によると、彼の死が彼女の後見人だったという。数年前、彼女の才能を
Yeah,
見
of
抜
course,
き
don't show us his face. Why would you?
らしいが、それ以前のことはよくわからないという。長丁場になりそうだな。
You know, I'll be pausing on that face to see if I even remotely can identify it.
また傷口が開くようなことをされてはいけませんから。
ああ。しかし、心配なのは怪我だけではない。変人こと、羅漢のこともある。父親であることは確かなようだが、薬屋の態度を見る限り。
Okay, at least she recognizes this.
明日は高級だな。
はい。問題ないかと。いつもと同じです。
すなわち微妙な味だと。
嫌なら飲まなくてもよろしいのに。
一応の決心だ。宦官としてのな。
穴をつまむのは人前ではやらない方がよろしいかと。
Are you really a eunuch?
わかっている。洗練された所作、天女の笑み、蜂蜜の。
Oh, is this following in the disguise
高
thing?
級が限定のものになった5年前に宦官となった弱い24の男。それがjin士なのだ。jin士の仮面をかぶると決めてから、こうして毎日男でなくす薬を飲み続け
Oh, okay, never mind.
そのうち本当に不能になりますよ。
So he's not a eunuch. Okay. Question answered.
子はもう成人していますし、先日孫がもう一人生まれました。
孫って上の息子の方か？
はい。
Was that Boss N?
マシってバセンだろ。
Guessed it immediately. Okay, cool, I'm on the ball. I knew he was grinning about the bloodline thing early in the episodes.
さっさとお手つきを作ってこんな仕事を終わらせろとでも言いたげだな。
早く孫を抱かせてください。
努力する。
Okay, I gotta figure out what the work is, though. Clearly, I feel like I'm missing something with that one.
ごきげんよう、ジンシ様。
今日もまた素敵な衣装ですね。
ありがとうございます。
Well, less makeup than usual,
ローラ
though.
ン妃のもとに通ってはいるが、あまり触手が動かないという。ローラン妃はかなりの洒落者で、髪も化粧もコロコロ変わる。訪れるたびに妃が誰かわからなくなり、混乱するそうだ。
I mean, to be fair, she does look like different people. What's that? That only works? Oh, that's gonna be another tie to the board. That works towards the whole disguise thing, though. If she's so good at disguising herself, he can't identify her every time. That means she could be a lot of different people. Oh! Sorry, I'm missing some important shit for this theory now. Okay, we're just re-going over this.
結果、アードー妃は子宮を失い、今の皇帝の初めての巫女も間もなく亡くなった。
Actually, Jinshi, though.
今生きていれば。くだらぬ妄想だ。
Wait, you're him, so what? I'm confused by this being your monologue.
次の東宮をこしらえてしまえばいい。
I am definitely going to rewatch that. Sorry.
随分とお疲れのよう
God,
で
I'm
す
going to
が
have to hold this thought to the end of the episode.
あなたたちはお仕事に戻って。実は。
What's happened with Gyokyo?
ああ、玉葉妃の月の道が途絶えているらしい。
I was worried something happened as a kid.
すなわち妊娠の可能性があると。いつからでしょうか。
今日からでも行けるか。
はい。
頼んだぞ。
Okay. Threatening Jinshi's position, even though I'm not sure that Jinshi recognizes his position as being true, or implying that it's not.
もしかして気を使ってくれたのだろうか。どちらにせよ、また毒味役。
あら、機嫌がいいのね。
そんなことは。
残念ね。せっかく期待外がある子が入ってきたと思ったのに。ねえ。
I mean, she saved Jinshi.
久しぶりの高級生活は以前と変わらず毒味の毎日を過ごしている。問題ありません。
That kid's growing up quick.
いないこと以外、これといった確証はない。アードー妃の件でも思ったが、ただの公職親父じゃないのかもしれない。
I mean, I think he just wants a bunch of,
相談役と
not
しても
kids.
心強かったアードー妃が去り、代わりに受代してきた
Inheritors doesn't seem like the right word either.
影響を与えかねない変わり者の娘。無下にもできず、だからといって子ができても厄介。頭の痛い話だろうな。
I mean, to me, that would point to Jinshi if we didn't know who Jinshi was.
三姫の一人が、そう、身請けされるんだって。
身請け
Not yours. Lagan's probably buying out Maomao. Alright, sorry. The conspiracy theory that I was stupidly talking over really important scenes for, and again, we will come back to those in notes. I think the pure consort is pulling a Padme from episode 1 Star Wars. The fact that the Emperor cannot recognize her every other visit seems to me to imply the fact that maybe it's a different girl every time. Seems to me to imply it's a different girl every time, implying that maybe they're switching out between each other. And the thing that was like, oh no, what this? Is the element that that it was a group of people in Maomao's imagination taking Sururi back. Well, if it's a group, why couldn't it be that group? If it's a whole group of people changing out from one another, like I don't think Sururi could be one of them. Because Sururi is a person you would recognize. But yeah, sorry, it doesn't seem like it's all massively important now, but I think it is a major thing if conspiracy theory is right. I guess I was more confused by the next time on bit, because it looked like Maymay had a kid. I'm going to imagine that Maymay does not have a kid, and what is happening is that Maymay is dreaming about a future where she could, right? That maybe that's her dream, to have a life beyond being a consort where she could have a kid and everything like that. It's either that or maybe she's flashing back to helping raise Maomao? I don't think so. I don't know. Obviously, not a lot of stuff pans out if you try and figure out what happened uh, on the next time on. God, yeah, there's so much here. So much that I was right about. Again, I suspected that somebody was going to be brought back from the dead, but the fact that Suri even brings up a resurrection medicine in an earlier episode, and we do the whole fake out, like, it all pans together. I appreciate how in-depth this show can be about clues. Not so much the clues I would have no chance whatsoever of putting together, but the element of like, oh, I believe Thornapple is the thing with pufferfish and this other thing. And it's like, oh, that's right. When we covered in raw fish, the pufferfish wasn't in the garbage. And it's like, oh, okay. So that's where we're getting all these supplies and stuff from to do this thing. It's such low level attention to detail that I love it. Like, the show gets better and better every time. Like, sometimes the episodes, I think I cracked on, like, how lead seemed to have, like, nothing to do with anything. And then it turns out it's the pivotal episode in explaining the assassination attempt against Jinshi. But then again, so was every other episode. Raw Fish kind of felt like a nothing episode. But then it's also one of the main tenets of clues on how Jinshi is going to get killed. Oh, actually, technically, Raw Fish is more about how Suri is going to escape getting caught. I don't know. But also the fact that unnamed blue-haired guy keeps showing up, and now he showed up like in 2 different flashbacks. And again, I know this is like beating a dead horse, because Kelvin is no longer watching. He's previous commenter, Patreon member, long-time viewer, much appreciated, all their time on the channel. But something I said really pissed them off one day, and they're gone now. But I still think back to the comment responses that we used to do with them. And the last one was obviously me talking about that character. And the thing that pissed Kelvin off, I think, was the element that I talked about how they said that they didn't recognize that person. And me reading that as a somewhat spoiler. Because if they didn't recognize them, then that meant that they weren't important at all. But here we are, here we are later, and they showed up again, making me think that Kelvin was just trying to throw me off the trail. But here we are. I was right. I was right the whole time, which is my favorite way of being right the whole time. Although, second only to technically correct. I think that's going to be the thing. I think that the pure consort is actually switching out between members of our entourage, It's either that or it's going to be a whole disguise thing, in which case we're going to go back to the disguise episode. And that's what I thought was happening when Jinshi was drinking the drink that's apparently suppressing his manhood, is that I thought, oh, he's actually faking being younger or older, and he was faking not knowing these certain disguise elements that Maomao was showing him because he's been doing it the whole time. But no, as it turns out, he's just taking, I can't think of it. Sorry, I'm doing that thing where my brain goes like down 5 different levels, but then it can't identify like multiple steps on those levels. I'll try and take you on this journey where my brain's going. Oh, he's drinking that drink. He's taking that drink that legally governments in the early 1900s made gay people drink to castrate them. It was a very evil, sadistic thing that they did. And then my thought goes to, okay, who's that guy that broke the Enigma code? He's a famous example of that. If I just say his name, at the very least, if I don't know what the name of the thing was, the medication, then I can at least say him and people will understand. Oh, he was played by this guy in the movie about him, and then, oh, he also played Doctor Strange. Now I can't think of anyone's fucking name. And I'm like 5 levels deep on connections without being able to name a single person. Again, I'd like to point out, this is why I have a whole notepad full of notes to help me tell you guys what I'm trying to think. I like to think that I come across as smart in some aspect. Like, oh man, he's nailing all of these things, and then I can't think of someone's name. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff in this episode. So much stuff that I just can't wrap myself around. Also, obviously, a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna have to go back and take notes for, because the one thing very specifically confusing me is Jinshi regarding what would have happened if Aodu's kid had survived in his own internal monologue. Because my thought is that he is Aodu's kid. He is the Emperor and Aodu's kid, making him the Emperor's son. But then again, sorry, that's why I have that whole sideboard thing on the character board to remind me what I think, because I've nailed it like 3 or 4 times. What is the actual relationship between everybody? But we have so many, this means that says this means that it just mixes up in my head, and I keep forgetting what everyone else thinks and what it actually is. So yeah, the element that Jinshi is now thinking contrary to what I think Jinshi is either implies that Jinshi doesn't know, but Jinshi has to know. See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. His thought process in the end of the episode there about Adu's kid and what would happen if they had been born, or if they had survived, rather, does not stand to Jinshi's crying when Aodu is going to leave episode because he knows. So why is he thinking like third person aspect of I'm not that kid? What would have happened if that kid had grown up? Rather than just being blatant, because we already know who is who. He could just say, what would happen if they knew what I was? Would that be too much for the audience? Is that too on the nose? Oh man, this show. I think I'm going to leave it there, because obviously there's way too much. I'm never going to remember everything. I'm always going to leave something behind. So this is going to be just a torrent of notes for next episode. And I guess as we get closer and closer to the end, it's just going to be more and more of that until we reveal everything. I'm hoping, again, that we end this season on even more mysteries than we currently have. That way it'll set up for next season, and that we just don't like solve everything at the end of the season and then create new mysteries next season. Kind of disappointing. But yeah, anyway, I think that's it for this episode. So once again, I've been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everybody. Sorry, I gotta apologize for something here. I don't know if it seems any different, but this is actually being recorded almost a week after the initial reaction that you just saw a moment ago. What had happened is I had something important in front of me. I forgot to record the Maomao's notes afterwards. I was reminded by the chat to do the Maomao's notes, and we did. I watched it live on stream. I reacted to it. I think I had like an additional 10 minutes of notes afterwards that I had discussed. But unfortunately, I forgot to hit the record button. So that moment in time only exists for the live crew, the people that were there. But I just couldn't leave this off of the video. So my plan, in what I'm doing here, is that I tried to leave the largest amount of time possible between having watched it and doing this to forget as much as I possibly can. And it's almost a week because this is the time where I'm going to start sitting down and taking my notes on the episodes. So I'm going to be rewatching them and everything like that. So I'm going to be re-recording this ahead of rewatching everything. But I'm obviously not going to be having all of my thoughts that I had last week having just watched the episode. So, again, I apologize. This is a weird cut, I know. But let's go ahead and hop on in and see what I legitimately do not remember what was in this other than the potato flour thing. So, let's go ahead and see. Again.
マオマオの独り言。
ガオシュンガオシュンはおらんのか。どこに行ったんだまったく。
Oh yeah, that was right. The whole Gaoshin Boss End thing, which I was right about.
薬屋ガオシュンを見なかったか。
Oh yeah.
本日はまだ。
Sorry, this is also legitimately reminding me about the episode
薬
now.
を探していてな。
それでしたら先日睡蓮様にお渡ししました。
お前が取りに行ってくれたのか。
はい。
Alright, and that's what the potato flour was. Suppressing his manhood to make him seem like a eunuch.
何か知られたくない薬だったのか。確か芋の粉だったような。ここでマーマオの豆知識。芋の中には腸内環境を整え、肌荒れを防ぐ美肌効果のあるものや、シミやシワ対策など。
I guess legitimately one of the first times Maomao has been wrong about a medicine issue.
ジンス様も美を保つために人知れず努力をしているんだな。ど
うして笑っているんだ。まさか薬の作用を。あれはだな。
Well, I mean, if she thinks she's right, she'll just say that she's right, and she won't know that she is wrong.
ここに男性の性欲を抑える芋があるとか。
Incidentally being right, though.
薬屋とあの武官がまた二人でこそこそと嫌な予感しかしない。
Yeah, I now remember the element that confused me is what the hell does she mean by foreign potato? Like, does China have its own potato? Sorry, it's been a weird day. Does China have its own kind of potato? Like, I know there are different types of potato, but I've never heard of, like, a Chinese potato. And also, does that mean one of the many different varieties of potato that I'm aware of makes men impotent? I think I would have heard about that. Not that much matters to me, but figure that'd be information I would have, like, read on, like, one of those 5 things potato farmers doesn't want you to know. I think that's an example headline, you know, one of those giant, stupid list headlines that kind of tries to trick you into reading it. Other than that, though, obviously, the Gao Shun being mentioned, and I believe they had mentioned in the episode, again, this is before I take my notes, the Ba-Sen relation, which, again, I was right about, because I considered the whole Ba-Sen thing being mentioned real early in, when Jinshi was like training with him or something, and he mentioned like was it Ma Clan or something, and then we had Gaoshin in the background grinning. It's like something there. I kept mentioning it for a long time. Now it's a thing. I guess it's good news that Jinshi is taking medicine to appear to be eunuch and not actually eunuch. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't think it matters much to an emotional relationship, but if we're hoping that there's going to be a physical component for this between Jinshi and Maomao, stop taking the medicine. Except for the point that Gaoshin says that this can cause long-lasting effects, in which case, not really an option. Alright, well, like I said, last time I had a lot to say. I don't know what the hell I said before, and unlike anything else, there's nothing I can pull back from, so this is all I can give you, and I apologize. Otherwise, the actual sign-off versus whatever I did before. I have been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?